A breakthrough in the tariff standoff between China and the United States. Representatives from both sides will meet for discussions in Switzerland this weekend. The news comes 1 month after the president announced tariffs of 145% on Chinese imports. CBN News' Michelle London has more now from Washington.
Beijing is now agreeing with trade negotiations with the U.S., quietly backing away from a tariff war.
Look, they're suffering greatly. Their economy is suffering greatly because they're not doing trade with the U.S. And they made most of their money off the U.S. Don't kid yourself.
During his Oval Office meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney Tuesday, President Trump told reporters the Chinese are not doing business and ships full of goods from China are turning around in the Pacific Ocean.
It has to retreat. China is now increasingly in chaos.
Stephen Mosher is the president of the Population Research Institute. On CBN's Faith Nation, he said China has been quietly relaxing its tariffs on more than 130 types of American goods. Recent reports show huge piles of containers that missed the tariff deadline, still sitting in Chinese ports. Cargo bookings are down by almost 50%, and thousands of Chinese factory workers are laid off. At this rate, Mosher believes it will only get worse.
You're going to have, in the next couple of weeks, 10 million workers who've lost their jobs, who don't get severance pay. Some of them haven't been paid for months.
He predicts rising job losses will leave employees with no choice but to take to the streets in protest of Xi Jinping's government.
There's increasing unrest in China's cities. And, you know, it's not just the factories that produce goods that sell to Americans that are shutting down.
This week, Beijing announced its latest offer to stop the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. in exchange for lowering tariffs. Mosher, however, strongly supports tariffs against China remaining in place.
Let's buy goods made in India or Mexico or the United States, and reshore our supply lines here to our own country.
During that Oval Office meeting with Canada's Prime Minister, President Trump told reporters that he's not ready to drop tariffs on the U.S.'s neighbor to the north. In response to months of Trump's rhetoric calling Canada the 51st state, Mr. Carney, in response, told the president Canada is not for sale. Michelle London, CBN News, Washington.